Hello, everybody. It is Sunday. It's a little past 2, so apologies for this being a little bit of a late start. I was just having some issues with my microphone, so please let me know if you can't hear me. It says the audio is coming through, but again, please let me know. Sometimes that happens. So let's go ahead and I'll do my introductions and then I'll talk about what this episode is. So I am Sam from Thermal Cosplay. I've been cosplaying since 2014, so this will make my 10th year as a cosplayer in March. And this is Costalk Live. Costalk Live has been around for almost 4 years now. We're just a community of cosplayers that like to podcast and, talk to you guys. So today we're going to be talking about convention recommendations. And I'll talk about convention recommendations in Arizona and other states as well. I'm also going to show 2 websites that I use to determine what conventions I might be interested in. Because sometimes I know that going to the same cons over and over and over again, you might maybe want to switch it up. So, and today I've got my headset on. I've just got I have some technical stuff I need to do on my PC, so my camera is a little laggy. I apologize. I'm working through getting some of my technical stuff fixed this week, so hopefully it'll be better next week. But hello, welcome, Indiana Jones today. I love Indiana Jones. If you didn't know that. You didn't know that. Okay, but yeah, Sam from Thermal Cosplay, and this is Cos Talk Live, and today we're going to provide convention recommendations. And if while I'm talking, there is a convention that you would like to have others go to, like you're like, oh, this is really cool, it's in my area, I highly recommend it, make sure you mention it and we will definitely get to it. So I'm just going to check this real fast because I think some people from some of the other members from Costech Live are messaging me, but I don't know. Okay, all right. Okay, so yes, we're streaming today. Oh man, that's great. Okay. So the one thing I do to track conventions, there's obviously a difference between fan conventions or Comic Cons and anime conventions or game conventions. So searching for them can sometimes be a little tricky. So I like to look at, I use 2 different websites. They actually happen to be hosted by the same provider. And let me show you who that is. So the first one is called fancons.com. They have years worth of data here, which is really awesome. And then they also have it broken down. So they've broken down by year, by the type of convention it is, and its location. And I really like this. This is a great way to find fan cons if you are trying to kind of expand out of your usual spots. So let me make this full screen because I know it's a little small and make it easier for people to see it. So right here, if I go to 2024, and then I click on, maybe I want to go to a Comic-Con, and I could choose the location. So I think I'd rather have it focus in the USA because that's where it's located. You can, oh, hang on a second. I have someone joining. So let me, here we go. Hi. Hi, Thundermat.
Sorry, I was having some computer issues, but I made it.
Yeah, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Sorry. Yeah, I can hear you. I
Yay!
headset, and sometimes like I still had my microphone connected in the back, so I had to play like the selection game.
All good.
Yeah. Okay, so this is called fancons.com. I selected the year as 2024. The type is a comic convention. The country as the USA, and then I could even go down to the type of state. So since I'm in Arizona, I could go through here and look through Arizona. Oddly enough, I'm not seeing a whole lot for comic for Arizona. Usually you have to set it to all. There's some states that they don't define their conventions as clearly as other states do. So you may have to stick your type to all, and then you could choose your state or country that you're in, or both. And here I can see that there are quite a few conventions that have just passed and a couple coming up. Now, I know that there's more in my area than what's listed here. This website is a bit limited for some states, and that's probably because some states don't actually report their conventions, which is so weird to me. I'm like, why wouldn't you want to report it to a site that like tracks global
It's free
cons? But
advertisement.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't get it. But this is the fan con site, so you could even go in here and you're like, okay, I wanna do all, I want to check out Canada, and you can see what conventions are occurring in Canada that are fan cons,
That's super
defined
cool.
as
I've
fan
never
cons.
seen this site before, actually, that they have
Oh,
just,
I
and it's
love
like for the
it.
whole
Yeah,
year.
and this is just like Comic Con and game related conventions. There's a whole other separate one that I'm going to show you guys now. So I'll stop sharing. And then this is the other search that I look for called animecons.com. And it's the same provider. They just decided to focus more on anime and Japanese pop culture conventions. So if I click on 2024 for this one, animecons.com, and I click on the USA, I could see what anime conventions, and we know Anime Los Angeles just happened. We've had some friends that attended that, and I know that that's a highly recommended convention. So if you are like most Arizonans and you want to escape the heat and you're looking for like a really balmy, nice convention weather, Anime Los Angeles, from what I've heard, is like really, really nice to attend. So,
Hmm.
um,
Definitely want to go to that one year for
mhm.
sure.
But this one focuses on anime cons, and again, you can still go by country, state. They've got this one is a little bit smaller. As you can see, it's really only Japan, the UK, Canada, Europe, and North America, whereas FanCons had a lot larger of a list. So it depends on what you're looking for, what you will find. But I really appreciate these convention lists because, like I said, there are times where I kind of get tired of going to the same convention in my area, and maybe I would drop one or two conventions in Arizona to go explore a new one somewhere else,
Mm-hmm.
right? So these are two options. I'll post the links in the chat so that you guys can see it. So let me get back to its. Sorry, I'm
Yeah, it's
having.
always cool to go to another state's con. Like I got to do that for the first time last year when we went to ECCC. So it's like your own circuit, your home circuit is obviously going to always be like your little baby, the one that you look forward to every year. You have different cons spread out throughout the year to kind of get you through your year. But definitely check out something out of state if you can. Look at your next local states and see where your borders are and try something new. Have a friend go with you so you're not by yourself. Just, since you're exploring potential unknown territory. It's just better with a friend also, anyways. But that was a really cool site. I'm gonna have to look into that. Animecons.com slash
Yeah,
events.
and fancons.com
Cons dot-
slash events. When I first discovered these sites, I was really excited because it can be really difficult to find new places if you're not located in that area, right? And if you don't have friends that have attended larger events or smaller events, or maybe you have friends that are like, I have some friends that all they go to are steampunk conventions.
Mhm.
I might go to one or two of those, but a lot of those are out of state. It's just maybe that's not my focus. So yeah. And Raul says that's what I'm doing. I'm going to an out of state convention. Yeah, out of state conventions are really fun. So like this year, for instance, we have Tempe FanCon next weekend, which is at the Tempe Public Library. It's a free convention. It's always really big, so if you do go, I highly recommend getting there around 10 if you want parking. Otherwise, you're going to park in the neighborhood and walk. But the
Yeah.
neighborhoods are pretty big nearby, so it's not that far of a walk, to be honest. It's like the same walking distance if you go to Phoenix Convention Center as parking there and then trying to walk there. Like, about the same, maybe less. Um, but no, I'm actually going to a couple out of state conventions this year. I have my list somewhere. But I know that maybe I put my list here. Did I post it? I think I
You went to
posted.
Penty. You went to.
Well, I'm talking about this year. Like, I think I
Oh,
posted
this
it on
year.
my
Oh.
Instagram. Like, either one of them might change. So I'm going to WonderCon for the first time, which is in California. It's in Anaheim. I've never been there, but everyone talks really highly of WonderCon, and they state that like if you're a cosplayer and you really want beautiful pictures, it is a huge cosplay community convention. So I'm going Saturday and Sunday to WonderCon, and then I'm doing Phoenix Fan Fusion, which is a local convention. I'm going to Dragon Con. I've wanted to go to Dragon Con for a decade, and it's finally happening. So and that's at Atlanta, Georgia. And then I'm going to Fallout Good Springs, which is a Fallout New Vegas inspired fan convention, and it is in Good Springs, Nevada. And if I could fit it in, I am trying to go to Level Up Expo in Vegas, but I don't know how my finances are going to look because I have a couple things coming up with some family and stuff that might affect that. But that is on my list. And I've gone to Level Up Expo. I went in 2020 pre-quarantine. It was
Right,
in
yeah, right before
February. I
shutdown.
think it was in February then, and it was when they had to put it back at the old center. It was terrible. And so everyone told me, go back, go see it at the new center. It's much better. And I'm like, okay, I'll go back. So it wasn't very good when I went, but that can happen where conventions can have off years. Like I've gone to Emerald City before and despised it, but then I've gone back and really loved it. So it depends. There are off years. So I will warn if you are going to a different convention, talk to the people that are local. They'll say, is this normal? Like, is this how it always is? Try to get a feel for the
Mhm.
environment because
You can usually
sometimes,
find like Facebook groups for cons
yeah,
that, like where you can post the pictures you took, be like, hey, I met this person and I can't remember your name. If you're in here, find me, blah blah blah.
yeah,
That's a great place to like feel the vibe out for a con too, because a lot of bigger cons do have like their own fan pages.
they do, they do. So apologies if I sound a little stuffy. I'm having some sinus issues today. Uh, but
The
yeah,
rain,
no,
we're getting rain, so it's
yeah,
bringing
no, it's
hot.
been raining a lot, and I opened the door and I was like, oh no, I should not have opened my door. I should have hidden in my house like a hobbit. But I wanted to get some fresh air in the house. So well.
Well, it looks like Raul is going to WonderCon too, so you might see them there.
Oh, then we'll see each other hopefully. I'm only going Saturday and Sunday to WonderCon because on Friday I'm going to Disneyland.
Fair.
It's right next door. like, do I want to go to Star Wars Land again? I do. I might be obsessed with Oda's Cantina a little too much.
There's worse things to be obsessed with.
Can I just like live there? Can I be the robot? I
Be
want to
there.
be the robot DJ.
He's gonna be there for 5 days, 3 days of convention, so he'll be at
I
the.
would just, I don't care even if all I do is move and say the same stupid line, I'd be really excited. But yeah, no, so we are here today to kind of provide some convention recommendations. And again, if there's a convention that's not on your list that you want us to mention to others, please let us know.
Mhm.
So one convention that I highly recommend that I've gone to that's kind of in the earlier part of the year. Let me pull my list up because I have my little list here that I really like. Where's my little list?
But
Again,
while
the
you're
standard.
looking, just to like kind of interject there for a second, it's important to kind of vet your conventions too, like especially if it's one that you haven't really gone to before. There's cons that are money grabs that just up and disappear. There's
Yeah,
cons that are just signing events, which is awesome if you really just want to go meet like a voice actor or a comic book artist, something like that. Um, but if you're going there expecting like a costume contest or a giant cosplay scene, those types of things, you'll kind of be able to see the vibe from kind of looking at their events, checking kind of their past events to see is this a legit thing or is this maybe a little suspect, because I know you guys have some horror stories about like a ball con or something like that. I think that was you. There was like a ball pit con.
oh, I didn't end up going, but
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I've
yeah,
heard horror stories
yeah,
about that.
Golden Con.
I know recently there was a bunch of vendors who just got gypped out of a bunch of money because
Oh yeah, so there was a event in Arizona, and this guy's been jumping through different states doing this, and it was supposed to be a horror convention, and he he
yeah,
he said it all fell through, and that, oh my goodness, I'm sorry guys, I'll refund everyone, and then he vanished. He took all the
yeah,
money from the vendors for pre-sales, took all the ticket pre-sales, took all the money that they put for like autographs for the celebrities. He said we're going to be there, and vanished, and he pops up in different states and does this, and he changes his name every
yeah,
time just a little bit, so that it's usually his first name, but his last name tends to be the same. So I agree with you. You'll want to talk to people. I mean, we had Chibi Rain Cloud that went to Anime Washington for the first. It's going to be going this next weekend. It'll be the first time there. Sometimes it's nice if it's an inexpensive ticket and you
mhm,
have a lot of other people that are attending, and what I like to do is I like to go to the venue like website that they say the event's being hosted at and
Mhm.
double check that event is listed on their
Yeah,
calendars.
cross posted. Yeah.
Because if it's at a venue, they should have it on their calendar. If it's not on their calendar, then you could call the venue and be like, hey, there's this convention that says they're hosting at your location. Are you aware of this? And they're like, oh, yeah, sorry, we haven't posted it. It's here. Or they'll be like, no, but thank you for notifying us. Because there are a couple of hotels where like, someone's using our name for what? And
Yeah.
so, yeah, that's the quickest and easiest way to see if it's a legit convention is checking to see if it's actually at the venue on the venue website that it says it's being hosted at. So, agree with you there.
Just wanted to interject that because there are people, unfortunately, as nerds, we like any
We're
other,
very trusting.
yeah, like any other group can be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Especially when we're super excited to have a fun, safe space that we are excited to go to and we're willing to pay money to go there. So people, unfortunately, will take advantage of that. So it's important to vet your con, check out, like, you know, if the company is well known that runs it. There are companies that run multiple cons throughout, you know, our state, many states. So just do a little bit of research. If it's your first time con. Word of mouth, you know, just depends who it comes from. Are they trustworthy? Is it someone you really know, trust, has a similar vibe and aesthetic to what you're wanting out of a con? But yeah, definitely vet a con if it's your first time. Just to, you know, check out the layout, check out where it's at, parking, everything.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you there. So
And I learned that
that
mostly
makes
from Thermo, going to many cons with them. They're like, oh, there's a hotel that we or there's the hotel right here, and there's a parking garage that I've already pre-booked, and you're like you're always on top of that stuff. So I've learned.
yeah, I do a lot of research before I go anywhere. So recommendations for conventions, though, something that's coming up within the next couple months. In Arizona, there is Wild Wild West Steampunk Expo. So if you've never heard of it, it's a steampunk convention. It's located in Tucson, Arizona, and they moved the hosting to this really nice hotel and casino. I got to go last year and I got to present, and that community is incredibly welcoming. I will state that if you are unfamiliar with steampunk, they are a very close knit community. They are a very open, close knit community, but it could be a lot for individuals who are just getting into it. There's a lot of reenactment involved, there's a lot of characterization, and if you're very new to this, it could be overwhelming. So make sure you bring someone with you, or make sure you find someone that you know that's going so that you can kind of get familiar with the themes. So like this year they have a heroes versus villains theme, and each day has kind of a different costume theme associated with it. They've got, you know, you can still buy the convention passes. They have hotel rooms and they have guests, vendors, and vendors are always really cool. Every time I go there, I end up spending more money than I intend to. Um, and I will say, if you want something that's pretty chill, has a lot of like live action, right? Kind of a lot of live action role play or a lot of characterization. Steampunk conventions are really good. And this is one of the ones in Tucson. There's also the Gaslight Steampunk Expo that I believe is in the Pacific Northwest, or it might be the Midwest. I can't remember. I'll try to find it. That's highly recommended from a lot of the people we know as well. So, and then another event that's happening in Arizona, and then I'll kind of jump to other conventions that are around the same time frame, is Game On Expo. And Game On Expo used to be in August, and they moved it to March this year. So Game On Expo is a video game convention in Phoenix, Arizona. Oh my gosh, I just realized that was me. So I'm on their website as Gannon. Anyway, sorry. So I didn't know that. Anyways, this is video game convention. They've got arcade games, live play. They've got tournaments. They've all kinds of things, and it's really, really cool. I highly recommend Game On Expo. They're even moving into a larger space this year, which is really exciting. This is the place that if you're looking for retro consoles, excellent. I love the retro consoles. I might actually end up buying one this
Yay,
year.
Game On! Sorry.
Yeah, I'm on the front. I'm actually, if you keep watching this video, I didn't know that they took my Ganondorf. Finn Ganondorf is in here, and I was like, wait, that's me. Like right as it loaded, I was like, that's Sam. When did they film me? I don't even remember that. But I
I love
was
Game
hyped
On.
that day. I had so much, like both my airbrush machines broke, and I had to do
Oh yeah, when
everything.
you had to use like your palette.
That
your
was
palate.
so
Yeah.
bad. Yeah.
No, the Game On. Sorry, I know you've been talking
No,
about
go
it, but
ahead,
I
please. Go
love
ahead.
Game On.
Yeah.
It's a smaller con, but it's definitely growing. They're moving to the actual bigger convention center this year. Um, but it's a nice homey con that doesn't ever feel too out of control. Like
Mhm.
you kind of you have your set space, you have your gaming area, your rock band stage, your food, your vendors, just kind of like your normal con. But it definitely feels like a little homier and a little more. I don't want to say niche because obviously it's a con, so it's
It was
still
me.
fun. Oh, there you are. Um, it's fun to have people attend any sort of con, but this one always feels, I don't know, it's one of my favorite local cons just because it feels homey, and I think
Yeah.
that's not
Well,
something a
they
lot
have
of
the
cons can pull off.
championships. They have a cosplay contest. They always have really great voice actors and voice actresses that I
Yeah.
really like enjoy. And I'm actually competing this year. I got accepted, so I got to fix up my Safina.
Woo.
The big thing too is I really like that they reintroduced the live action. Essentially, they took little racing cars and they throw like Toad and Mario and Luigi on them, and they've got an actual Mario Kart physical track in the middle of the
Yeah.
hall, and you're just like,
With like RC cars, and it's so cute.
it's so fun. So there's a lot of hands-on. Any age can come there and go there and
And we're
enjoy it.
going. I know we're going at least Saturday.
I'm
Are we
going
doing
Saturday,
Saturday
yeah,
or Sunday?
because Friday I have a wedding to
Yeah, we.
attend, and then Sunday I'm going to our local Renaissance fair, which I love. So yeah, I'm gonna be exhausted that weekend.
Yeah.
So tired. But Raul, it's his first time going to Game On Expo as well. I really, really recommend Game On Expo if you can attend.
Yeah,
Um,
it's just a good
Now,
con.
conventions outside of Arizona that are upcoming. There's one coming up in California. I'm trying to find it. I mean, we already talked about WonderCon, so I may as well just open up WonderCon and just show you guys what they
WonderCon's a
look
good one.
like.
That
WonderCon,
one's tickets sell out
you
pretty
can
quick,
still
don't
buy the tickets. You
they?
can still actually buy all 3 days. You just have to buy them individually.
Oh,
Yeah.
ooh.
I was like, no, I'm gonna buy Saturday and Sunday. Anyway, someone sent me an email that was incorrect, but I got tickets. They do still have tickets for sale. If you're unfamiliar, WonderCon is hosted by the Comic Con site, so you have to um, register as a member, and then you acquire a membership, and then each year they will email you reminding you of when the events are coming up, which I actually kind of like.
Oh,
But it
that's kind of
can be a bit confusing. So there's this little member ID portal in the upper right hand section. You would register as a member ID, and then you would state what event you would like to acquire a membership for, and then that's how you purchase the tickets. Um,
cool.
so they do still have badges for sale. From what I understand, they typically don't sell out of Friday and Sunday badges, but they do sell out of Saturday. So that's something you'll want to be mindful of. It is at the Anaheim Convention Center, which is directly behind Disneyland. So if you are wanting to stay a little bit longer, there's a whole slew, like within a 15-20 minute walk, you can get to downtown Disney, go to Disneyland, go to California Adventure, and go to WonderCon. Really, I mean, you'll spend a lot of money, but it's a full holiday. um, at this point in time, I don't think there are any panels that you can submit. Everything's done there. Um,
Mm,
I believe you could still volunteer. I think they accept volunteers at the end of this month, but at this point, it's going to be checking out what panels they have available. I know they've got really big guests. This is a con where they do massive industry announcements. This is a large comic convention that has, from what I understand, a pretty big focus around Disney and Marvel aspects. So that would kind of make sense with its proximity to Disneyland and Disney Studios, that would tend to be the focus. Um, it's my first time, so I guess I'll be able to report back to you on how amazing it was from my perspective. But
oh,
everyone that
look,
I've
there's a Sam
spoken to,
section up there.
hmm?
Up at the up at the top, it says Sam.
Sam, that's the museum, isn't it? Isn't it the museum? Oh no,
No,
it's
apparently you're doing storytelling. I don't know.
what? Am I an AI now, guys? Oh no, oh no. Who's Sam? I want to know now. Sorry, we got distracted. Storytelling across media is SAM. Okay, so that is the acronym. Okay, I'm an acronym.
I
Cool.
identify as an.
But yeah, so those are kind of coming up. There's also another event. I believe it's in New Mexico
Ooh.
or Colorado. So I'm gonna double check real fast. Let me see. I'm just clicking on the. Oh yeah, it's in Colorado. It's Colorado Anime Fest. I've also heard that this is really good. I've had people speak highly of this. So let me share this. This is also in March and it's coming up soon. And it is in Denver, Colorado. But they usually have some really big guests of honor for this event. And from what I understand, like it's large, but it's not so large to feel like if you've ever gone to Emerald City or Phoenix Comic Con or you've been to Tucson Comic Con or something, it's on the size of Tucson and the size and scale of Tucson Comic Con, which is kind of a mid-level con.
Mid level,
You're
yeah.
probably looking at 40 to 50,000 people, not anything above that. So it is manageable if you want to explore something. And from what I understand, it's a lot more affordable when you kind of get a little bit closer into the Southwest. And that has been my experience. I will agree there that cons when traveling can get expensive. So please make sure that you double check, what are the flights when I leave the airport? How close is the hotel? How much is the food? There are also, for instance, when I travel to California or Seattle, there's a tourism tax if you're not a local,
Mm.
and it can get upwards of 20% in some states. So just be mindful of that.
Yeah, Seattle was expensive, but it was so
Yeah,
much
and
fun.
actually, since we're talking about Seattle, Emerald City Comic Con
It was
is
March, yeah.
it's the same weekend as oh my goodness, it's the same weekend as the Steampunk Expo in Arizona. So Wild
Mm.
Wild West Con. Why isn't Emerald City Comic Con showing up on this list? Well, that's weird. Anime Washington's showing up, so I guess I'll show you guys Anime Washington because TV Raincloud's going to go to this. So if you're
Chibi.
if you're in the Pacific Northwest and you have nowhere to go next weekend and you want to go buy a pass, there is Anime Washington, and it is. I wonder if it's at the Washington State Convention Center. I know that this is something that. Oh wow! Okay, now I can see why people are really
Oh,
excited about
Ruby.
this. That's a lot of. Look at that. It's a lot of really good guests for its first time go. I
Oh,
believe
it's
these
its
are the
first
people
year
that
convention.
they do other cons. So it mentioned SummerCon, which has been around for a while. So these are experienced convention heads. So that's good. But yeah, I mean, Anime Washington is next weekend. So if you are in the Pacific Northwest or if you're in Washington, go have fun. Another convention that I've been to that I rather enjoy, which is going to be coming up here in a bit. Let me load this little guy here. Come on. You can do it. I believe in you. Why are you being so slow? My computer's being really, really slow. I don't know what's going on.
I think it's the weather. Mine's being a little
Yeah,
slow too.
it's weird too because I'm like I had no problems earlier, and it's just oh I guess it okay. Well, never mind. I can't recommend this convention. It doesn't exist anymore. Okay, so we're rolling back. Wow. Well, guys, I already found a con that it closed its doors. It's kind of sad
Which
though.
it does happen, unfortunately.
It
That's
does
part of the
happen.
business.
Yeah. So I
There's a lot of them, and they can easily kind of saturate the
that's
market.
it. So let's go ahead and move. I did mention Level Up Expo, so I'll share with you guys. I will say that well, I didn't personally enjoy myself the first time I went. It was mostly because since they had to move to the other event center, it was smaller than originally planned, and because it was so much smaller, it was a lot of crowding. There we go. I probably should have brought water with me. Oh well. And it just made it difficult with the crowding to get comfortable.
Mm.
So, but I will say they had gaming, they had wrestling, they had raves, they had tournaments, they had so many free parties, they had a ton of panels, they had a costume contest. The only thing you will have to be mindful of if you ever go to Level Up Expo or you ever attend a convention in Las Vegas, like maybe Amazing Las Vegas Comic Con, you have to be mindful of the fact that Las Vegas is very particular about where you're permitted to wear costumes.
Mm.
So many of these events are not in casinos because casinos do not allow you to wear anything over your face.
Over your face, yeah.
You have to have your face fully exposed for the facial recognition programming they use to make sure that you're not doing things you shouldn't be. And that means that you cannot go take pictures in front of most of the big landmarks that people enjoy at Vegas. So if you are going to this convention because you want really cool pictures in front of landmarks, double check that that's permitted so that you don't inadvertently maybe end up with an arrest or a ticket because they don't really warn you. You just suddenly disappeared. It's not fun. It's, I just saw a Deadpool guy just get walked out. No words. Like these guys came up, took him by each side of his arms, and walked out. I'm like, oh. But it is actually like if you are a big party person, this is the convention for you. It's not very expensive from tickets. A lot of the hotels around it are actually pretty inexpensive as well. And for me, it's like only a 4.5 hour drive, so I don't even have to fly. But I will say that the Las Vegas airport is pretty close to everything, and you can get a lot of rideshare for really cheap to wherever it is you want to go. So this one might be maybe a good option if you're trying to look for something that's heavy gaming, and it's really heavy gaming in anime with like a sprinkling of comics.
The other thing that I like to think about too when I go to a con is like, how do I? Because like when you're sometimes cons can be work, so it's like, am I going because I want to enjoy myself and be able to like meander and wander, or am I going because I'm doing panels and I'm helping behind the scenes and doing things like that? Know how involved you're going to be,
Mhm.
and kind of what you want your con experience like to be like going into it, because that'll help you decide what con you possibly even want to go to. Because like I prefer smaller homie cons because I get overwhelmed easily in crowds. Phoenix is even a little too big for me sometimes. Especially when there's like lack of crowd control and it's just you're
Yeah.
stuck. Whereas like with Tucson or even Game On, they're small enough still where you're able to sneak away off into a corner and find your space if you need to. So know your limits, and again, kind of just be aware that you know some cons are bigger than other cons. Some cons are going to be more cosplay focused than other cons. Some cons are going to be, they all
Yeah,
have their
that's a good point. Like I went to Sakura Con, which is in April, and it's in Seattle, Washington. It's at the Washington State Convention Center. And while it was a huge, heavy cosplay focus, cosplayers were not very well respected. And so we all had to create kind of our own groups and stuff because the convention itself didn't like they want you to run panels, but unless the panels are extremely culturally focused, which I understand doing some of that, but you can't have all your programming. You can't call it an anime convention and have all your programming around the cultural focus, because cultural focus also are the arts, and the arts for manga and anime and other elements would be considered modern focus of that culture. And they were very disrespectful of individuals who had any sort of costuming or anime focus at that event, which was peculiar. So do be mindful of that. That's where you want to talk to the community. That's where you want to say, is it worth it? What should I do? There are also some places that I'm going to be going to Dragon Con, right? I've never gone to Dragon Con, but I've heard mixed reviews. I've heard people who've gone in groups and loved Dragon Con, but they were in a group. They were safe. There were about 4 or 5 of them. They were super safe. They got to go to the parade and the aquarium, and they got to go to some of the after parties and attend a lot of the panels. And from what I've heard, the exhibitor and vendor space is excellent at Dragon Con. But if you're attending as a solo or a duo, from what I understand, there tends to be, because it is a party con and because there's a lot of drinking involved, there tends to be a lot of inappropriate contact. So you'll want to be mindful of what is my goal in attending these conventions? What am I looking for? And that's where you'd want to focus on, if you've never been to that state or city,
Mhm.
trying to reach out to the locals, or maybe even trying to find. I like to go on YouTube and the walkthroughs that people
Mhm.
do, the video walkthroughs, watch those and just see how the fans are interacting. Like I don't even listen to the narrator. I'm watching how the fans are interacting with the vendors, how they're interacting with security, how they're interacting with guests. And that gives me an idea of the type of atmosphere I would be heading into.
Absolutely.
That is something I agree with you. You want to be really mindful of. Oh, my hair is getting too long. I'm gonna have to trim it. Okay. Anyways, just in my eye area, it's like I want to be an eyeball. Like, no, don't chew my eyeball.
Not sure.
What do we do? Are there any conventions that you want to bring up right now, Matt?
Um, I mean, you've been to a lot more than me. I've only been to one out of state. I've been to most of the Valley, Arizona ones. I haven't been to like.
Well, what do you like in the Valley?
I mean, we mentioned Tucson and Game On. Those two are probably, I would say Tucson, Game On, and UU are probably like my three favorite cons locally. Again, they're small enough, but still focused enough to where you're just having a good time the whole time, and it's just a pleasant atmosphere. It's not overwhelming in any sense, like where you can't move, you can't figure out where you're going, you're lost, you lost your friends, someone stepped on your dress, someone knocked your prop off your shoulder. Like it's just a lot. um
Yeah.
I also oh crap, what's the name of we went to YumaCon. It was a smaller one, but that was a
Yuma's
lot of
really
fun.
nice, and that's in Yuma, Arizona, and it's like right on the border between California and you. It's in that weird little zone of you're
Mhm.
not. It's not quite California, not quite Arizona. They just hug.
Lots of agriculture, so it's still very kind of green and like
Hmm.
naturey around the place. But um, it was a cute, like maybe library sized con. It wasn't
And it was
anything
only like what
huge.
$25 for the full event for both
Mhm.
days. So, but it was
And,
still had gaming, it had karaoke, it had panels, it had a good vendor hall. They
mhm.
had a couple guests that came in through Zoom because it's not a very large space, so they can't have the large celebrities, but they have large celebrities that they partner with that do come over Zoom calls and communicate and work, interact with the crowd. They even had like a little cute bar this time
Oh
with
yeah,
like themed drinks that was really cute.
yeah, that was cute. We had fun.
So,
So that like just kind of like know what your con experience is. Kind of like find a con that suits what you're looking for because there's so many of them. There's so many different levels of like entrance to a con.
mhm.
You know, it's just you want something
Yeah,
small,
I
not
highly recommend checking out your like boys and girls clubs or community clubs or even
libraries.
your libraries for special events. And there are some libraries that they want to do these events and they just need subject matter experts. So if you're an individual who's attended a lot of smaller conventions or even mid-sized conventions and would like to maybe help them out and give them some information,
Mhm.
you can do that.
Yeah, like
Uh,
I know you do a couple times a year. You've helped at Tempe LibCon and just
yep.
held classes where it's free to come in and ask questions to someone who's knowledgeable in
Yeah.
their work, and it's something that you can provide and create an outreach, and potentially even if your library doesn't have a con, have start having those little things, and seeing the interest in people come into it, they'll potentially have that, so you can help kind of even create or cater to more happening things in your area too, which is a pretty cool idea.
Yeah. You can build the community that you want in your local area if it doesn't exist yet. And that's important too because it means that you have different levels of privilege getting access to things that everybody should be able to have access to. So
Yes,
that's
not
why I like
everyone
to
can
work with a
afford
lot of the charities and the local libraries to make sure there are programs like this for people who may not can't afford attending a convention because it can get pricey. It
especially if
can.
you have a bigger family. Sometimes kids are free or really discounted pricing, but
Yeah,
everyone should be able to go and see Ariel and Superman and have a fun time and buy nerdy stuff and have good food trucks, and it's not a privileged experience. It should be something that everyone gets to have fun with. So again, there's just different levels and tiers of cons. You can get to a free library con, or you can go to a $500 full weekend pass con. It just depends on your budget and what exactly you're looking for. So
sure.
there's
Yeah,
there's
yeah. Well,
something
and
for
that's a big
everybody.
point of Phoenix Fan Fusion this year. They brought back the early bird pricing.
Yeah,
They even started. They increased. They upped the age for free tickets. So if you are looking right here, full event is only $79, and it's a 3 day convention. So 79 is a pretty good price for a
I
three
think
day
last year
convention.
what it was a
It was 110.
10. Yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't do the
And
early
that
bird.
didn't even include parking. That was just the base price of the ticket. So this is a really good change. And I know that they're including I believe the kids
Sidekick passes.
sidekick passes for. I'm trying to find the age though. I'm just trying to. Maybe I can just go to the passes.
I think it's 12 and under. I want to say.
I think it's 12 and under as well. But I'm just gonna double check. No, I don't want to. I don't want to misspeak.
Misquote. Yeah.
Yeah. People have gotten angry at that before. Yeah. So, children 0 to 2 are completely free, and then children ages 3 to 12 are completely free. They used to be $25, but now it's free. I believe that might change at the door back to $25, but it's only at the door. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, though. They may keep it free depending on the number that I think what they're probably trying to do is gauge the number of responses there. I do know that you can't. It's only 2 kids per adult, I believe. I think it's 4 kids total that you can get a membership for, and I believe it's 2 children per adult. So.
And they are.
You have to purchase an adult pass
here too, which is nice. You can choose to have it shipped.
And then this is a convention that I would recommend. I would say that it is it is in an affordable range. Oh my gosh, I'm having a hard time talking today. It is one of the places that there's a lot surrounding the convention center that has amazing photos. There's a lot of affordable parking. You can reserve months in advance, which is great. And it's starting to get better with hotel discounts too. I will say that this is a very program-heavy convention, so if you like panels, this is the convention for you.
There's something going on every floor.
Every subject. Yeah. In the north building, it's the first, second, third floors all have panels, and then the basement is where all the exhibitor and vendors sell their products. So it is very similar to maybe Salt Lake Fan Expo, where you're seeing a lot of programming. I believe they have over 1,000 hours in programming. I know that there's something going on every hour in almost every room. So it keeps itself busy. And they've got cosplay masquerade. They've got a youth masquerade. I've heard rumors that they might be even doing a skit contest this year. We'll see. And I know that they always have really cool burlesques. They have cool roasts. They have really cool. They have tons of things. So if you're looking for a well-rounded convention that has just about everything.
Yeah, this is our state's biggest convention, I would say, for sure.
Another Comic-Con that I've been to that I really liked that's kind of similar in style to Fan Fusion would be LA Comic-Con, but LA Comic-Con is probably, in my opinion, a bit more celebrity heavy. And it doesn't have as much programming, but it has the same amount of like gaming and vendor size.
They do a lot of like the celebrity panels and stuff though, because I know that, like you said, is a very guest heavy con where they tend to get
LA Comic-Con used to be known as Comic-Con LA, and it used to be Stanley's Comic Expo before
Excelsior.
But those are some really good like West Coast. I'm starting to slowly but surely get out into the East Coast. From, like I said, Dragon Con is one that we're going to be attending this year that I'm going to be exploring.
Oh, we were going to go to Cabbage Con. That would be a fun
one. Cabbage Con. I'll bring up Cabbage Con.
We were going to go to that, but that fell through, which hopefully next year.
Happened.
Hopefully next year.
People are supposed to go with are in college. Stuff happened. But this is Cabbage Con. Yeah, so this is really cool. This is in Ohio. I think it's in Columbus, right?
Especially with the surge, like the Columbus, Ohio, with the surge of all the new Avatar content coming
out. So Cabbage Con, it's a fan hosted convention. It got really good reviews in its first year. I got to see the videos. I know, Cosplay Choco, who streams with us, absolutely enjoyed it. So this is
props and cosplayer, him and
it's got a lot of really good affordable. They even have a badge that includes the hotel room and a whole bunch, like everything you can think of. They've got really interesting programming. They even have some applications open still for panelists. I think it's still open. You might want to double check on that. But I have heard such good things about this convention. They're still announcing guests. I know that they're working through that. But it looked like so much fun. All the videos I saw online, I was like, I want to go there. And this would be more like, it would be a much smaller event, but
definitely smaller.
Community focused. So if you love Avatar or Legend of Korra, this would be a good convention to attend this year. And it's in a temperate time of year.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I
Again,
know
yeah, like you said,
the
it's a
Midwest
definitely
area
smaller
really
con, but
likes it this summer.
yeah, I feel like it's gonna
Oh,
grow. I feel like it's gonna have a big growth in the next because of the Netflix show, the coming animations, movies, comics that are all coming out from the Avatar Studios with Paramount. I feel like this con, because I think this is what their fourth year, maybe. And I feel like they're going to see some exponential growth here shortly. So I'm very excited to see what this con becomes because I want to go next year.
I see. I don't know if I have an info on here. No,
Yep.
I probably yep. But no, they've been really responsive to, like, I emailed them and they were super nice. So
Yeah.
I'm sad that I can't go now, but I might be able to make it to Level Up Expo. Although April in general, the cons I wanted to go to in April might just be a wash. Just life happens, and this year life is throwing me for a lot of curveballs already. So yeah. Another convention I do want to talk about that's in Arizona is Tucson Comic Con. I do recommend that. That's the same time as Dragon Con, though. It's going to be Labor Day weekend. So if you're in the Midwest, maybe check out Dragon Con. If you're in the Southwest, maybe check out Tucson Comic Con. But there are a lot of really good conventions that at least I've attended in the West Coast and Southwest. So Emerald City Comic Con, Sakura Con, LA Comic Con. I don't know, what was that other convention I went to in California that was kind of interesting? I'm forgetting its name right now. One I wanted to go to is Long Beach Comic Expo. I've heard amazing things about Long Beach Comic Expo. D23 is cool, but warning, getting to D23 is very difficult. So good luck. I really wish you the best of luck. But D23 was fun. It's just D23 is the Disney convention where they pretty much it's only
alternates, right?
Every other year, yeah. And they're gonna do it this year, but it's gonna be in August.
It rotates from here in Japan, right, or China?
Yeah. No, that's Star Wars.
I thought D23 will jump back and forth.
D23 stayed in the US. It's just every other year.
Oh, maybe.
D23,
but that's obviously like the Disney convention. That one's a hard one to get into. You can't even choose what panels you get to see.
Yeah, you have to join as a member, and if you don't join as a member, you have no access to the ticket.
Yeah, I will go 1 year, hopefully one day, because I love Disney. Yay, being a Disney adult, but it's a little inaccessible, unfortunately.
Yeah, they just do it every other year, but it's in Anaheim.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the list of conventions that I would highly recommend right now. If we missed a con and you want to tell us about it, please go ahead and post it in the comments.
I mean, you did say Star Wars Celebration, and that's
so I've never been to Star Wars. So this is the funny thing. I got invited to Star Wars Celebration Chicago several years ago, but then the person I was supposed to travel with ended up dropping out last minute. And then I had a family emergency and I had to move the media coverage to someone else that was going. And I was like, this sucks, because I was going to cover it for a magazine that I was writing with, and I was devastated. So sad. But I still have that pass just sitting in a drawer staring at me. I'm like, I hate you.
Like I could have been there, but I wasn't. But even then, like if there's a specific like fandom you're a part of, some cons they're just about that
fandom focused, yeah.
So you could even find, your niche right there if you just really want to find something specific and pinpointed. They're out there.
Yeah.
Or creative.
I mean, we have a convention in Arizona once a year that's just pinball arcades, and people just come around. They transport all their pinball arcades to one little small convention center, and they literally play pinballs all weekend. So you never know what you're going to find. But I wanted to talk a little bit about what's going to happen next week. We are going to stream next week, but we're going to be streaming on Saturday. It is probably going to be around 11 a.m. I think is when we're going to stream, because we do have
before the contest, right?
Yeah, I'm going to be judging the cosplay contest at Tempe FanCon, but we're going to live stream from FanCon. I'll make sure to actually remember my headset this time. The little one, not this big one. This one's kind of big. and we will just kind of walk around the grounds, talk to you about what we're seeing, maybe even get a chance to interview some of the vendors that are going to be there.
Mm.
And then after that, you're probably going to see a break from us. We are reorganizing. We've had a lot of like changes, people growing up, stuff just happening, people moving, and so we're reorganizing Costalk Live in February, and we'll post an announcement to let you guys what's going on. But as we reorg, you might see a small break from us while we try to figure out when our streaming schedule will take place in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we need
Oh,
support.
and Renaissance Festival is coming up.
Oh yeah,
So
if you have never been to
in Arizona.
Arizona and you want to go to a Renaissance Festival, our Renaissance Festival lasts the first weekend of February until the last weekend in March. So it is
March.
8 weekends long, 8 or 9 weekends long, and it is awesome. It is an entire village. Like an
It's
actual village, like a permanent village. And we have facilities. We have privies that are permanent and clean. You don't have to go in an outhouse. Uh,
they've
but
gotten better Wi-Fi, so
yeah,
that's
you can
always nice.
actually. I'm not going to stream this year though.
No, we shouldn't
Because
worry
the
about
problem is even with the better Wi-Fi, like there's still so many people there that the network can't handle streaming. It
it.
can
No,
handle phone calls and texting, but
you could
still,
always take
there's gonna be
pictures and
delays.
videos and make a
Yeah,
little
no,
whatever.
we'll
But
share with you guys. We're gonna go the first week of the first day, so it'll be February 3rd. So we will definitely take photos, and then maybe we'll share that on like maybe we'll do a short stream that following Sunday in the evening or something, and just kind of share our experience. But we'll see what
while we're
happens.
doing the restructuring, that might be a nice little.
Yeah.
Oh, this is just something fun. Hello, guys.
But I am Sam from Thermo Cosplay, and I think we'll probably be wrapping up a little bit early today. If you guys do have questions or if you have suggestions on episodes, please visit us at Costalk Live. Let me get the website up.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Maribel Jade. See you in the comments. It looks like the purple one's Twitch, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I like to do it because I like my favorite part of cons is going to like a masquerade. I love watching masquerades, so I'll literally just watch other cons masquerades. But vice versa, there's also people who just walk around the vendor floor and just going up the escalators and walking the halls, and you can see a whole layout of a place and
Yeah,
how
it's nice.
busy it is, and yeah.
That's why I like to watch those videos because it really does give me like some convention centers don't actually have really good maps online, and so
Mhm.
watching those videos is essentially how I figure out where I'm going. Like I've literally pulled up a video before, like I saw this really cool bridge. Where was it? Okay, I'm just gonna follow this person through this hall. I'm gonna follow from the entrance, and I literally followed the video to the bridge I wanted.
There you go. And then you can kind of see locations. It gives you an idea of,
Mhm.
maybe places you want to find and shoot, or just the general layout of how to find a panel room, how traffic seems to move through a building,
Yeah.
just being prepared, because cons, like, I am already an anxious mess when I go to a con. I like to have one bag and have everything in that bag because I'm afraid I'm going to leave it somewhere or set it down, or my phone's going to be put in a pocket and I'm going to think I lost it. Instead, everything just goes in a bag, one
Yeah.
bag. So just like pre-planning and having those things, knowing yourself and how you can be in a public setting, but also like if you have the idea of being in a costume or handling someone else while they're in a costume, wear your costume around your house and see how it fits through archways and doorways.
Yeah,
And
and consider temperatures. Like I when I went to Seattle and when I went to California and Washington are a lot rainier. So I actually bring different shoes than what I sometimes would wear for my costumes that have better grip. Because in Arizona, everything's so rocky and stuff. There's not really anywhere you have to be too worried about slipping. But in other environments, those shoes that I usually wear might be problematic. So I either bring something that I can slide onto the shoe that makes sure I have better grip, or I wear just different shoes. So be mindful of that. Make sure you have ability to layer or the ability to delayer. Not stripped to nakedness, but for instance, the Phoenix Fan Fusion, it's like it can be 110 degrees Fahrenheit outside. So we're looking at, if you're in Celsius, you're looking at in the 40s Celsius. But when you walk inside, it drops to like 63 degrees. So it will go from 110 to 63 Fahrenheit, or it will go from 40 degrees down to the 20s or
yeah,
lower.
And your
And
drenched
so,
sweat body is now suddenly wet and cold. And
yeah, so just consider that. I've done that before where I've just been slightly uncomfortable in line while entering the convention, knowing that I would freeze otherwise if I wasn't wearing layers while I was inside.
it's true.
But thank you for joining us today. I posted the Cause Talk Live website on, I'll just pop it up here. If you do have any questions, we've got about a minute. We've got about a minute signed up.
I just have.
Adorable! Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Wait, should I show off something I have?
Yeah, show off something. Fan Creos, that's how I met you. You was a lizard people, and you still are a lizard people.
There's only 200 of these, and I got one.
Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, as we're wrapping up, I'm InsomniMatt. You can find me on Instagram. And like Sam said, we'll be taking a restructuring break as we kind of figure out how Cost Talk Alive is evolving for us as, individual cosplayers and people who are still have like lives and work and
Yeah. Yeah, because I've been tasked with doing more conventions involving my career this year from my CISO, so that'll
yeah,
be
'cause
fun.
you go to like tech cons. That's not cosplay focused, but it's a whole
Guys, I
con
might
that
be talking to the FBI more.
the
They're
FBI.
listening to me now.
Your name's definitely
No,
on
it's just data privacy, guys. I like to help out and like kind of unfortunately a lot of our lawmakers are a little bit behind on tech, and if I can be a subject matter expert and help them, I will. So that means that some of the events I normally go to for Comic Cons, I'm going to be going to different, so that I can go to places I'd like
Yeah,
to.
Sam's a great person to have around for technical difficulties at anywhere.
All right, guys, we're going to let you all go. Have a good Sunday. We will see you again next Saturday around 11 a.m. I think I said it at 11 a.m. Didn't I? I'm going to double check on that.
I
Just
could
to
always
make sure.
stream the contest. We could always.
Yeah, we could stream it. I think we should stream it on Instagram though.
Yeah, we could do it
Yeah,
live on.
we're going to do the live stream at 11 a.m. and then we could probably stream the contest on our Instagram. So I'll look at getting that scheduled out on our Instagram account.
Cool. See, hopefully everyone there. I'm excited. Tempe
The
FanCon.
Big Fan Con at the Tempe Public Library from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. next weekend. So have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you all on in like 7 days, 6 days. I can count.
7 days.
Bye, guys.